Hey guys, gals, and friends. We're going to do a quick review of levels of organization in 5 minutes or less. So if you look on your student CTLS, you will see our new session that you should be finding this in, levels of organization. If you go into those resources, right here, you will see the PowerPoint. On this PowerPoint, it does have an answer key, and it's basically repeating itself. It's groups of cells, groups of tissues, group of organs, group of organisms. But we're going to just do a quick little deep dive into what exactly all of this means. Why do we sort things? What's the point? So in science, we know that it is vital to be able to label, name, and know what exactly it is that we're talking about. So we have created levels from the most simplest of cells to the most complex of organisms. So we're going to start down here at the bottom with cells. And I remember from my very first unit dealing with Miss Humphreys, that cells are the most basic unit of life. Basic unit of life. And remember, I'm on my computer, so things look janky. So the most basic unit of life. Here I see some examples of a plant, and I know it's a plant because it has a cell wall, and this big purple thing right here. Blue thing is my vacuole, which stores water. I know this is my animal cell because it has a cell membrane and a nucleus, and I know my nucleus contains some DNA. So some examples of cells can be prokaryote, eukaryote, and we know eukaryotes are plants and animals. So those are all types of cells. Well, you have all kinds of cells in your body. You have red blood cells, epithelial cells, fat cells. And like we talked about in class, all of these cells come together, groups of cells come together to make a tissue. So a tissue is a group, or let's see exactly what it says. A group of cells, there we go. A group of cells that work together together for a common job. So if you look at this picture right here, this is an epithelial cell. So this is the top layer of your skin. This right here is the layer that causes you to bleed. This right here is a muscle cell. So that muscle cell, that epithelial cell, and those blood cells all work together just to keep the skin on your arm. That is to keep one hair on your arm. All of those cells are working together. This image over here is adipose. So the same kind of cell can come together, all different kinds of cells, same kind of cell, adipose tissue, can come together, and this function is protection, warmth. This is your fat on your body, and it also is used to break down food. But just an example is a group of cells that work together to form a common job, So all these adipose tissues come together to keep us warm. All these different types of tissues come together to keep our organs in our body. So tissues are made up of cells. Organs are made up of tissues. So it goes in order. Cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs. Or backwards, organs are made up of tissues, tissues are made up of cells. So we're going to look at an organ, and an organ is a group of tissues. We just said that. An organ is a group of tissue that again come together to do common job. Oh, I lost my draw feature. Common job. So the common job of an organ is to carry out the things that the tissues start to do. So in your lungs, you have very specific tissues that allow it to hold on to carbon and hold on to oxygen. Well, when all those tissues come together, they create your lungs. And your lungs' common job is to exchange that carbon and oxygen. So our cells make up our tissues make up our organs. Our organs all have a specific function. Our lungs cause respiration or changing of carbon and oxygen. Our stomachs digest food. Our small intestine contracts to make poop. We have so many specific organs that do specific things, and those are made up of tissue. Now, organs make up organ systems. So organ systems is a group of organs. A group of organs. So an example of an organ system would be your digestive system because it holds your pancreas, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine. An organ system, that says organs. Oh my goodness, y'all, that looks really bad. A group of organs. Let's try that again. O-R-G-A-N-S, a group of organs. So organ systems are made up of multiple organs that are made up from tissues that are made up from cells. So a bunch of epithelial cells came together to create this muscle for you to stay in. Those muscle system, those tissues created this organ of your skin, and your skin is part of an integumentary system that involves your hair, skin, and nails. Another example is you have cardiac cells, specific cells for your heart. Those specific cells come together to create muscle, cardiac muscle, your heart muscle. Those muscles come together to create your heart, which is an organ. And your heart is part of the circulatory system. So your organ of your heart, your organ of your blood, your organs of your veins and arteries come together to create an organ system. Now, lastly, as a human, you have a respiratory system, a digestive system, a skeletal system, a muscular system, a nervous system. You have like 11 or 12 systems. And all of those systems come together to create an organism. Now, an organism is a living thing. But when I say living thing, I mean a whole living thing, as in a tree, a person, a whole living thing. An apple is technically a living thing and would be counted as an organism. But when we're talking about organisms, we really are talking about like a frog, a tree, a person. The completed thing all together. So as a human, you are an organism. You're made up of multiple organ systems that are made up of multiple organs, that are made up of multiple tissues, that are made up of multiple cells. So just remember, cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism. There's not a nice like acronym for this because it would be let's try it, O-R-O-S, O-R again, so organism, organ system, organ, tissue, and cells. That doesn't very help. Cell, tissue, organ system, organism. So those levels of organization, there are only 5. And that is the end. A few other things. Cells are called cellular. Remember that from cellular respiration. Cells are referred to as cellular. And organisms are a whole living thing. And your answers are right there. So I will save this and post it for you.